Yeah, late LK at one young so holding it down, bringing that street geek nerd soul. What is up, my people? Today, all year, coming with another wonderful episode of That Is Right, Nerd Soul Gaming. I'm not by myself. Let's go in and turn everything on, get the lights on, get everybody going, and introduce y'all to a nice little round table I'm gonna try to put together. We're gonna be talking about Twitch, talk about music, them jams, talk about DMCA, talk about copyrights, talk about strikes. And this ain't baseball out here. So, right here, you know him, you've seen him out in them streets, fighting, putting on gloves, beating people up with suits on, Red Bull hoodies. That's right, XnightmareEffect. Introduce yourself.
What's going on, man? What's going on, man? It's your boy, Nightmare Effect, creator of The Boy, the one and only. How y'all doing? How y'all doing?
Word up, word up. Now, down below, you know him. It's been a while, but you know him. You love him. Bass Fishing Pro, Olympic Skating Champion 2016. Also, Time Man of the Year 2019. I introduced to you Nate Miller.
Yep, I am Nate Miller, and all of those things that Mike said are 100% true.
Oh man, what up, what up? It's good to have Nate back. You guys know him from the Lovecraft Country, but it's cool to have him back. You know, everybody's up in here. I guess I'll go in and get everything started off. Since both of you are on Twitch way more than I am, I'm more of a viewer on Twitch than an actual Twitch streamer. I guess to roll back some, when Twitch first started talking about like, hey y'all, you know, we're gonna be changing up some things. How serious did you take it, or did you think it was gonna be like a big deal, or no, or what was like the feeling around it?
So when I first heard about it, I felt like it was a warning. Like I seen it. I kind of like just scrolled past it because for the most part on my stream, the copyright music comes from my alerts. Like I never really do actually play music while streaming. So that's why I didn't really look at it as a big deal. But when they sent that round 2 out, I was like, oh, okay, all right, I got you now. But yeah, they cracking down. They are cracking down.
All right, Nate, how about you?
This has kind of been something that's been brewing for a few years now. They're basically the copyright holders have been waiting on the technology to develop enough to auto detect to be able to go through these like massive amounts, right? Because even in the past there have been, you know, larger cases that are obvious that will get DMCA takedowns. But the thing now that is kind of crazy is that because of the automated software that they have, it's not like there isn't a person going, okay, this is violating and this is not. It's just any instance of copyrighted music is getting flagged. So for a long time there was kind of like a, you know, obviously there's a rule like don't play copyrighted music, but there was kind of like a unspoken rule of like, for the most part, like, you know, most people don't really care. They're not going to come after you. And as we've seen in the last few years, like that's not really the case anymore. I think, you know, this is part of a larger discussion on the music industry in whole and how streaming has affected it. But now, like, you know, the record labels are really, they need to get their money wherever they can. So they see the streaming world and their property essentially being used, and they see that as money being thrown away that they're not getting. So that's kind of where this is coming from. I personally, I kind of understand it. I think it's fair in the sense of like not wanting people to just play music in the background or like just like stream whole albums or whatever of content. The thing where I think it's really problematic is where it's incidental. Like if someone is just watching a video and it's a short clip of the song, or like if someone is IRL streaming and the song, you know, someone drives by and they're playing a song, like things like that, it should not be able to get you strikes and get your account banned.
Yeah, because when I saw it, the first thing I thought when I saw like this recent round, and shouts to Markeith Collins in the chat, what up? First thing I was like, wow, I'm surprised it took this long for Twitch to do this. But then people were like, no, Twitch kind of said this, but nothing happened. Because, YouTube had been through this. Facebook's been going through this sort of.
The thing is,
and Instagram definitely has gone through this.
yeah.
So I was like, I wonder why Twitch never really did this.
It's because it's live content. Like that's the main difference between YouTube versus Twitch. Is remember, like a live stream is just that, it's live. So like later on when you go to watch the VOD afterwards, even before like all the strikes and takedowns were going down, they would mute audio if they found to be copyrighted audio.
Yep.
Right.
But when it's happening live, it's harder to be like, hey, you're playing our music, stop that right now. You know what I mean? So like a lot of people were just getting away with it because you just play it live and the VODs just get muted, like whatever. But for the sake of the live stream, it's still there for the content. So that's the main difference. YouTube had to address that because it's just a video and it's just sitting there, and there isn't. Once it goes up, it's up.
All right. Have either of you been hit by any emails, any takedowns yet?
Yep.
He was like,
Yep. Twitch sent me a body explaining, like, you need to do this. It's a warning. I'm letting it be known now. Yes. I went back. I changed all my alerts because they didn't ban me. I'm glad they didn't. But when they took that time out to word that the way they worded it, I was like, okay, time to change it.
And I've seen where there's a lot of people, they're going in, or the I guess algorithm or service is going into like backlogs and stuff, and like hitting people with mad strikes like super fast. And I guess before getting you guys ideas how you feel about it, where I'm at with this is, I like you said, Nate, I kind of understand. I get, them like, yo, man, y'all playing our music and we ain't getting paid for it. But this whole thing of kind of, I don't know, banning people on stuff that was made before this was a rule.
But it's always been a rule.
Yeah, it's always been a rule. So it's always been a rule, but before you decided to actually act on it, is it really fair to the streamers?
Yes.
So my case, this is what I would say to Twitch. All right, so check it. All right, from this day forward, any new music, we got to strike you for it. Any old stuff before this day, what we'll do is just mute the video, or we'll mute that section, but we're not going to take you down for it. Because, we can't, if we weren't, if we weren't holding you to that standard, we can't go back and be like, oh, well, 2008, or like 2018, you did this. It's like, well, you didn't even care then. Or 2019, you didn't even care.
But it's not that they didn't care.
True.
This is the thing is I get what you're saying, and in an ideal world, that's what they would do. But the reality is that when you sign up to stream on Twitch, it's part of what you sign up for, is that you will not play copyrighted material. So just because they haven't been enforcing it up until, more effectively until recently, that doesn't mean that it was like okay. And the problem is that that the content in the violation is still there until it's dealt with. You know what I mean? So that's where these strikes are coming from. And from what I have seen, Twitch has been pretty good about even repealing bans and removing strikes for people once it's been resolved. But I think from there, and it was probably necessary to go heavy-handed on a couple people so people understood like the how serious it is. Twitch has been cracking down just in general. For a long time, it's been a very loosely, I don't want to say loosely moderated, but loosely managed, maybe. It's much more casual and relaxed. And I think within the last few months, really, if you look at the numbers of Twitch's growth, over the course of the quarantine, that period versus last period, they grew over 300%. So basically what happened is Twitch blew up, and Amazon looked at the numbers and went, wait a minute, like, Twitch is losing money. We could be making money with this. At one point, it's just like a future investment thing. Eventually, it'll pay off and make money. But now they've reached the point now where it's large enough, it's getting enough views. That's why we're also seeing that, the ad apocalypse thing that's going on now, where they're fighting with uBlock and ad blockers and forcing people to watch ads. So there's a lot that's going on with Twitch, and this is part of that.
Yeah. I definitely I get that side. So yeah, and then of course poop rolls downhill, and you got all the you got Interscope or Sony Music, Warner Brothers Music. They on Twitch and on I guess Amazon's back like, yo, hey, y'all wrote these rules, y'all gonna enforce them. So I mean, I guess I guess I get that side too. It just seems like, for instance, I have a child. If say I said, hey, this is a rule, but I wasn't really ever enforcing or punishing him or anything, like not taking away a toy or anything.
The problem with that metaphor is the kid has to also agree to the rule, has to read a contract that has the rule in it, and then sign and say, yeah, I agree to the rule. That's the thing. It's like, I get what you're saying, but it's a mutual consent. It's not just like, all right, we're telling you what to do, and like, I'm not going to punish you, but don't do it. You're also saying, okay, I won't do this, and then turning around and doing it. Just because they're going back now to get things that you didn't do, you weren't supposed to do them. So I wish that that was not the case, but that's
kind of how I handle it. Because I'd be like, yo, like, but you weren't saying anything. So with this, my question to you is like, how are you? Like JeDarius, you said you were changing your notifications. How are you guys, changing, modifying, moving forward? Because now there's ideas of or rumors about like, yo, no music at all, not even from the game. Like, what I'm saying? Twitch, like, well, maybe just mute your stuff. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, it's just no copyrighted music. Yeah,
it's just no copyright.
So I mean, there are lots of options for copyright-free music, and there has been for years. There's more things. I see this kind of going two ways. The one downside is going to be like for like React streamers and, like I said, IRL streamers, things where you would inconsequentially come across copyrighted music. Watching a YouTube video or watching a trailer or watching a meme even that has like a music playing in the background. Like stuff like this it suddenly becomes really dangerous on your channel to do anything like that because of playing copyrighted content. I think that is a major loss content wise. But as far as like playing music in the background, I think there's plenty of like I said, plenty of resources for copyright free music. And I think Twitch also has their own thing that they're working on with the Twitch music thing of music for you to play. But I think the real opportunity here is for the community, Twitch itself, to kind of without the ability to reach out and get music, we get music from within, because there are plenty of music creators on Twitch, huge large ones and also small ones, and I think we just need some type of a system to pair that with the streamers. And I think overall that will be healthy for the community, but I think the transition is going to be jarring just because it's just like the music is just kind of baked into the way that Twitch is now and like the culture. So it's going to take a lot of like reprogramming to change that, but I do think it's possible. Unfortunately, it's just something that we have to do. Like there is no way around it. Like Twitch is not going to pay for a license to all of these companies to be able to play. The record companies are not going to budge, on requesting and filing. They're going to use every legal opportunity they have. So we just have to adapt.
JeDarius, anything on that?
Personally, I feel like it's going to be an L, but in the end, in all honesty, I feel like it made me better because I necessarily never played music during stream. I never really did live reactions. Like I only truly had the alerts. So the fact that they forced me to take my alerts off, I had some custom beats made, which are now more signified to my brand. So for somebody like me, it's not really much of a L for me. So yeah, it may affect me later down the line because I have my moments where I just be like, man, I feel like listening to some music that I feel like just jamming to, but I gotta thank like Twitch watching me. So
yeah, Twitch also too, like stuff that you won't think about is like if you're playing, you're playing the new Watch Dogs, like you got to turn the radio off. Can't play with the radio at all. and a simple accident, like you turn the radio off in the car you're in, you do a mission, you get outside and you're locked into a cutscene, but there's a car in the back of the cutscene with the radio playing and it's got music playing, you might get a strike for that. So like that's the stuff where it's
Yeah.
like I get the music thing, like we can get around that. I don't think that's a problem. That's how it should have been from the beginning. Like you said, it's good to encourage creators to not that I think every time you use copyrighted content it's stealing, but it encourages to create your own stuff, right? I think that's good. But the problem is the like, smaller scenarios that people aren't thinking about, where it's not, the problem is we're dealing with robots, right? It's a program
like
that
you
just
can,
looks for copyrighted music, and if there's copyrighted music, you get a strike. They don't care.
because the robot is like, hey, you told me to find it, here it is.
Yeah, there's no context, and so until you get someone to like review it, and then a couple weeks, month later, and then finally you get your account back, like it's just I'm hoping that is the process that they focus on streamlining, is getting someone to like review these better, because a lot of these strikes are not, they're just not fair. Like it's one thing if you are like just playing music while you're playing games and you play the whole song, but it's another
Or
thing
like,
to just incidentally be around it.
like, what if I wanted to do something retro? Like, hey guys, let's play GTA. You can forget that.
Yeah, I was just going to think
Wrap
of
it
that.
up.
So
Like Twitch sings gone. Like can't really do Just Dance or anything like that too. So I don't know.
Yeah, that's gotta go. Any
Guitar
like
Hero.
any rock band type stuff or whatever. Yeah, you can go in and just get that up. But I did on what both of you were saying, I was thinking, because on my channel, luckily for me, and I know everybody isn't like this, but luckily for me, I grew up around a good amount of musicians and producers that were making like either hip hop beats or like dance music or something like that. So I was able to kind of like bring that into my channel and, get a favor here, a favor there, stuff like that. So I was thinking, well, maybe this could be a come up for indie artists. You know what I'm saying? People that maybe this could, maybe this on the sneak could be a come up for them, where it's like, hey, like such and such is like an awesome singer, but only like 500 people know her or something like that. Or, this person, makes crazy beats, but only like 500 people know him or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So maybe this could be a come up for them, but definitely this kind of interesting maneuvering going on now. I wonder sometimes if the record companies are stepping on a dollar to get a dime. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they are,
I kind of wonder sometimes.
That's how they work, because you do that.
He said that's how they work.
Do that 100,000 times, and that's a lot of dimes.
Well, yeah, but sometimes I wonder if like maybe this could have been worked out differently, where it's like, hey, y'all already playing this stuff. Is there a way that we can have some kind of partnership or do something where? And I mean, I don't know. I ain't I'm not the algorithm,
You're
music money guy.
I appreciate your optimism. But,
oh yeah, I forgot. Nate be like, no optimism.
Unfortunately, this is where I dropped the C word. With our capitalist system, they're encouraged to every penny, every tenth of a penny counts. If you can make that as an income, and make grow your business, that's what you do. So, this is unfortunately part of that. This is just how it goes. Like in the same way that the prices are going up for Netflix and Hulu. Like we're repeating the cycle. We cut the cord so we could not pay for cable, and now everything's getting bundled together and the price is going up again anyways. Like they're gonna get their money either way,
Yeah, because earlier we've seen a lot of DJs get hit and have to be like extremely, like extremely creative. Like shouts to like Full Blast Radio. Full Blast Radio is one of them, where now they have like a Patreon where you come into like a Zoom meeting and they play for you. And you know what I'm saying? Because it's like you can't be on YouTube, or you can, but they probably going to turn you off in about 20 minutes. But and they'll let you know like, hey, come over to the Zoom party or come over to Twitch or whatever, and you put money in here and you get like 5 mixes free or something like that, because at first it was great. It was like, yo, all these DJs that love spinning all over the world, they ain't going nowhere. They got nothing to do. There's no club open for them to go to. But people still need to kind of like release tension, feel good, have a good time, let their hair down. You know what? I'll throw a party for them on Instagram. Instagram was like, no, you won't.
Yeah,
No, you won't.
I think ideally in the future we completely rethink how we do copyright. It really was not written as intended for internet and the way that we consume and create content now. And it's just kind of been amended over and over again, but it really needs to be completely rewritten. But we will adapt. When the internet adapts, it always endures. And the Twitch community, live streaming community, we will adapt. It's gonna suck. It's gonna be a lot of growing pains for sure. But I really do think it will get better. It will encourage creators to create more of their own stuff, more collaborations. Hopefully, uplift some of our own musicians on the platform more. And I do feel like as much as shitty as Twitch can be, with like the ads and also kind of in some ways how they've handled this, I do think in other ways they've also done a fairly decent job of trying to help creators and give them tools and try to like inform them and remind them of things that they should kind of already know. So they could be doing better, they could be doing worse. This is kind of untread territory, right? Like this is
Yeah.
We're exploring the unknown.
Where do you two, I guess JeDarius first, where do you see this going? Where do you see this ending up as far as like the relationship between, streamers, Twitch, and I guess music companies in general?
So where do I see this end up going?
Yeah, like maybe say in the next year to 5 years, something like that.
In all honesty, I feel like if they had a different mindset, I feel like that would actually help when small streamers or streamers in general would play music. Like it's that extra exposure. But with them looking at it from a money point of view, to me, honestly, I can't really understand, because at the end of the day, when it comes down to music, it's all about getting your source out there for multiple eyes to see it. So if you're stopping a small streamer from playing this music, ain't no telling what potential opportunities you may be passing up. So in the long run, money-wise, it could probably be helping them. I don't know. I'm just the innocent bystander that's trying to get through the day. So it's like,
yeah, that's definitely it seems counterintuitive. The way that they think of it though is like, if I own a song, right? Every time someone listens to it, they owe me $1. Whatever. So if you're streaming and there's 50 people watching and you play the song, even if they all like the song and they go listen to me, that's $49 I missed out on, because I made money from you streaming it, but not from everybody else that just heard it. So that's kind of the way that they think about it. Even though I wouldn't necessarily say that is the best way to think about it. The like exposure argument is really iffy, because more often than not, it doesn't really lead to sales. There's a few rare exceptions where something goes viral or something really pops off. But I think you're right on the money with like the partnership with the smaller creators and smaller musicians, even people that aren't necessarily on Twitch. There's a lot of musicians now, as the barrier of entry to music has gotten much, much lower. People don't necessarily need to be signed with labels, and they have rights to their own music. So I'm hoping too that a lot of these bands, like for example, I don't know if you know Trainwrecks TV, he has a deal with 21 Savage where he plays exclusively 21 Savage music, because 21 owns his masters. He owns the records.
Yeah,
so he
you're
can
right.
give
He
him
does
permission.
own all his stuff.
Right. So artists of that nature can make these deals with people where, yeah, of course, no problem. But the issue is like Herman Lee, guitar player for a guy named Dragon Force, got banned off Twitch for playing
What?
his own songs. He's the guitar player playing the
What?
songs, but he doesn't own all
Because
the
he
rights to
doesn't
the
own.
songs. The label does, and so they striked his channel.
My
So
dude.
yeah, but that's So the indie creators with more collaboration, that is the future, and that's going to be the silver lining for this for sure.
Yeah, I think I agree. I think this is something where I think in the long term, this is another thing that larger music companies, the record business as a whole, is doing that they think is going to help, but it actually helps push the indie genre forward. Instead of
Thank you.
instead of
Bless you.
instead of like kind of helping bolster their own music or their own catalogs. I
Yeah.
think this is something that will actually further push people out to, sources like you were saying, like JeDarius was saying, or because a bass player that can't play it. But I mean, we've seen those arguments come up with I can't remember the girl's name now, and she's been going back and forth with her record company. It wasn't Taylor Swift, but I can't remember who it was, right? But anyway, like talking about you can't play your own music, and it's yeah. So I can definitely see this pushing towards, like, hey, well, I won't, I can't play anything from the majors anymore, but I know these 2 or 3 people that'll make me, X amount of tracks, and I'll pay for them, and I can have them for the rest of my life. Stream them all I want. You know what I'm saying? So it definitely, I'm definitely down with the indie partnerships and stuff like that, because that stepping on a dollar to get a dime is just crazy.
Yeah, I mean,
But
ideally, the music industry just kind of needs to be completely abolished. It's like it's so predatory, and
very.
the money changes so much hands. Even like the way most deals are structured is really bad. I
Especially
hate
from seeing
to
from the Migos recently, and then also from Kanye West.
I hate to
When he
agree with
released
Kanye.
that contract, I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Just
That wasn't his whole contract. That was an amendment. But yeah,
okay.
it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad across the board, and like that's kind of what we're seeing is it's so bad it's bleeding over into other industries, right? Like
Sure.
that's kind of why people are freaking out. I guess maybe I'm a little bit more. I grew up in a musician family, so I'm kind of not as surprised by the shady ways of the music industry. But I think that's why a lot of people on Twitch and streamers that don't really do music are like, "What is going on?" Like the way that they aggressively, like it's worse than like, when they come after people for streaming like TV shows or whatever. Like it's way worse. Like they
You're
are
right.
very
It really
like
is.
laser focused and serious. They want their money. They're not playing around.
Yeah, it's and see, I came up around a lot of musicians that were indie, but they had to, of course, unfortunately now I know it's tough for them, but they had to stay on the road to make money because, they weren't signed to an actual deal. So that, like, for the music for my channel that, a lot of you guys that are watching might hear, they're, either producers that I've known since like high school, or someone that I met like 3-4 years ago while helping someone else make some video for the music that they were, so fortunately I've been kind of like surrounded by people that were either touring, whether DJs or singers or whatever, for a long time. But yeah, I could definitely see how this might be jarring to some, because like when those strikes started coming through, and I was like, dang, they've been hitting them for old stuff? Like, because, like I said, I think, old stuff be like, look, check it. Psh, it was 18, so we know what it was back then. We just gonna mute your video, but we cool. Just stop. That's what I thought it was gonna be like. But I was like, nah, bruh, you got to go. But hopefully, like you said, with the silver lining, I am hoping to see more, because I'm always open for indie stuff. So like I'm, hoping for more partnerships, and this will be something this will probably end up being something that the music industry doesn't really gain from. They just end up stopping. Like it just seems like kind of like perfect example with Napster. They didn't really, when they went after Napster, they didn't really gain anything. They just helped
No, they did.
further. I mean, they did gain things.
They put a serious dent into piracy. It ended up just moving someplace else. But
it just kind of merged.
Part of the other thing is the legal precedent of like, if you have a copyright claim and you don't press it, you could lose that claim. So sometimes companies don't even necessarily want to, but they have to. Like there's been instances where like video game companies will issue, cease and desist to like fan makers that are making a mod of a game, and they'll be like, look, we love that you're doing this. We love that you love the game, but you can't do this. You can't distribute this, whatever it's violating, whatever, and it's not because they want to, but it's because they have to protect their copyright legally. So that there isn't, outside of the money, there's another reason why they, are doing this. They have been trying to do this for a long time. They just figured out a way to do it much more effectively. And now Twitch is being slammed with, a bunch of takedowns.
Yeah, because that mod game is a whole nother. There's many mods where I see I'm like, yo, y'all should just hire these guys. like they know what they're doing. So why don't you just hire these guys? Because the skins that they made are, I mean, I ain't trying to dish his team, but these guys got a 9-to-5 and they did this on nights and weekends, and y'all do this 24/7, and this stuff is cooler.
I'm curious to see what this is going to be like a couple years from now. So,
hopefully, fair use laws will change. That's probably the most immediate solution we'll get, is some type of adaptation of fair use that kind of fairly includes streamers, that is actual fair use, like some type of transformative content. Because I do think, as much as I don't think you should be able to just straight up play music, I think if you are playing games, like you're playing a fighting game or whatever, and there's music underneath, that's usually lower volume. Like the music is not the focus of the content. The focus of the content is the gaming. The music is just part of it. Take the music out and it's not the same, but it doesn't fundamentally change it. Whereas like, it's not the same as just listening to the song on its own, right? So hopefully we can reach some type of reasonable understanding where people can realize that, it's if you're sitting playing a record all the way through, not talking while it plays, all right, you get a strike, my man. Like, you can't be doing that.
That seems like that's how they're attacking it. It's like, yo, people are just playing.
That's how they act. That's how they act like what it is. Like,
because I saw an article.
You don't want to buy that record? Oh, let me just stream it for you. Like, that's not what's happening.
I got you. Look, I'll buy the tape. I'll dub it for you. Don't worry. I got you. I'll see you on the school bus tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? I got you. Right. I'm a dub it. I got. Or like, you go to the barber shop and you got the dude there, he got all the CDs you need.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He was like, them CDs look mad official, but you knew them CDs weren't mad official.
me and my friends pitch in to buy the one Wu-Tang CD and then take it home and burn it, and then pass it around and take it home and burn it.
Oh man, the good days. That was funny.
The good days.
But with that said,
I was young back then, but I know what y'all talking about.
But with that said, we're gonna go in. We have exercised the demons. Hopefully, this is enough for you guys to get the conversation going on. We got folks in the chat. Shouts to Marquise Collins, Joy Infinity in here. I'm gonna start at the bottom square. You know him. He's commentary on Fleek. Can't stop him. You know what I'm saying? You check him out. He got all kinds of crazy views. Or anything you want to talk about.
True.
But no, he's super dope. He's super dope. Nate Miller, tell them where they can find you.
King of crazy views. Nate Miller, excited to be here. Always love doing these talks. You guys can find me everywhere online at Dog Like Nate.
Yeah. And right over here, You know him, yo. He fights for you. He fights for the country. XnightmareEffect. Tell them where they find you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You can find me by the tag name of XnightmareEffect across all social media platforms: Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, anything.
All them places.
All up.
And the links are down below, guys. So, you know what I'm saying? Don't sleep. Click the link. Follow those guys. Watch them. Talk to them. Share it. You know what I'm saying? You ain't doing nothing. You're at home. You're on your couch.
Ain't doing nothing.
You know
You're in quarantine.
You're in quarantine. You're on your couch. Why don't you go watch them stream something? So, with that said, NERDSoul, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all them places. Thanks for hitting me up. YouTube is the hub. Throw that thumbs up if you like what you're seeing. Put that thumbs down if you don't. But if you don't, I'm going to send Warner Brothers music after you. And then after that, I'm going to send Sony after you.
Oh, no.
And you're going to be mad. Then podcast if you want to listen. Spotify for that music. But if you play my music, then I guess I'll also have to send you a DMCA. I'll be like, this is me personally. I don't like what you doing. Stop playing. Look, just holler at me. We can get here. So with that said, I'm going to leave you with some dope music from Arcatron. That's ARCKATRON.com. The Space Bridge is in stores. I'm on it. Anwar High Sign is on it. P.L. Parker Lewis is on it. It's a whole bunch of cool people. It's dope music. And if you like Transformers, it's got a great reference for Transformers in there too. So don't sleep. Until next time, this for us, you just saying, thank you for watching. Peace. Peace, y'all. We out. Hey, look, you ain't doing nothing no way. So just watch this. We out.